Every actor occasionally regrets the role that got away, and this is usually observed when the movie in question goes on to become a great hit. From allegedly sabotaging script readings to completely disliking the script beforehand, let's uncover the celebrities who denied joining these iconic movies. Million Dollar Baby. Since the 90s, Sandra Bullock has played a major part in several blockbuster Hollywood movies, but she had faced an expected downturn when she missed out on a movie that won an Oscar. In Million Dollar Baby, she was supposed to play the lead part that eventually went to Hilary Swank. Sandra had a fantastic narrative she wanted to share for the role, but they rejected her concept. Although she had presented the story to various executives, she was told that female boxing movies don't sell. And when Million Dollar Baby was about to start filming, Miss Congeniality 2 came around, and she was unable to act in it due to schedule constraints. On a $30 million budget, Million Dollar Baby was a critical and financial success, grossing $216.8 million. Even though Sandra had missed out on this huge opportunity, she did not feel bitter and believed it was a role that was destined for someone else. In fact, she had acted in consecutive successful movies that year and held the record for being the highest paid actress in the industry. Precious. Jennifer Hudson, an American Idol breakout superstar, has had a wonderful career as a singer and actress, turning her winning period on the reality competition show into a number of critically acclaimed movies. Fans may have first seen her as a determined woman eager to establish a name for herself, but she's aware of her worth. She immediately realized that it wouldn't be in her best interests to take on one particular role. Despite being courted to take on the lead part in Lee Daniels' 2009 thriller Precious, she completely declined. She defended herself by saying that she had already dealt with the exact same issue in Dreamgirls and didn't want to portray a role where it was so important to gain weight for a role. Jennifer even admitted that she didn't regret losing the role, which resulted in Gabourey Sidibe receiving an Oscar nomination. Speed. Did you know that before John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, Halle Berry and Keanu Reeves almost worked together? Halle disclosed that she turned down Sandra Bullock's lead role in the 1994 film Speed, which starred Keanu Reeves as the love interest. She clarified that one of the biggest factors influencing her decision was the script's lack of conversation. The plot of the movie Speed revolves around a bus that's been modified by a terrorist to detonate if its speed drops below 50 miles per hour. Halle said she didn't want to operate the bus as part of her role. The movie had several alterations from the original script she saw, so she had little regret about not participating when she watched it at the cinema. The Matrix. Before Keanu Reeves achieved his lead role in The Matrix, Will Smith almost took on that role of Neo, but ultimately rejected it. Back then, the producers instructed Will to picture himself as Neo in a combat scene, performing an enormous jump and stopping in midair while cameras surrounded him. Will, however, was unimpressed by their pitch, perhaps as a result of the emphasis it placed mostly on the action, camera work, and special effects. Will revealed that he may have changed his mind about working on the movie if the directors had given him more information about the plot. In addition, Will turned down The Matrix in favor of Wild Wild West because he didn't only want to appear in more sci-fi movies with aliens like Independence Day and Men in Black. Will acknowledges that he isn't particularly proud of the latter because of how campy it is. Shakespeare in Love. Did you know that 1998's Shakespeare in Love had a disastrous production? Viola de Lesseps was initially supposed to be played by Julia Roberts, but Gwyneth Paltrow ultimately won the part. At first, Julia became completely fixated on the concept of Daniel Day-Lewis portraying Shakespeare, even requesting for 24 flowers to be delivered to Daniel, along with a letter that read, "Be my Romeo." Unfortunately, he had other projects on the go and ended up doing a chemistry read with Ralph Fiennes. It was revealed that Julia did not even acknowledge Ralph's efforts, and the director had to apologize to him on her behalf. Julia then accomplished chemistry tests with a lot of actors, including Hugh Grant, Colin Firth, and Sean Bean, but everything took a turn when she performed a reading with Paul McGann. She didn't appear to have spent any time practicing her accent from the minute she started speaking. The following morning, Julia quit the project, stating that she had returned to the United States despite the fact that the production had already spent $6 million. Avatar. Did you know that Matt Damon exceptionally declined James Cameron's offer to play the lead role in the first Avatar film in exchange for 10% of the gross? Since Matt had already agreed to work with filmmaker Paul Greengrass to complete his Bourne action trilogy, he declined the role of Jake Sully. Matt insisted that rejecting Avatar was the proper moral choice, even though it didn't turn out to be the greatest financial decision. Silence of the Lambs. famous American psychological horror movie Silence of the Lambs was released in 1991, yet Michelle Pfeiffer still finds it disturbing today. She ultimately denied the opportunity to play Clarice Starling, making way for Jodie Foster to take on the role. Michelle confessed that she couldn't work on it because it was too evil, and her only regret is that she didn't get another chance to collaborate with Demi. The movie went on to become a commercial success, earning over $270 million worldwide and winning Oscars for Best Picture and Best Director, among other awards. Legally Blonde. On a budget of less than $20 million, the movie Legally Blonde made nearly $141 million at the box office. For the 2003 sequel, Reese Witherspoon would return, bringing in an additional $124 million. Without a doubt, Legally Blonde was a big success, and Christina Applegate could have played that part. She turned it down because she thought it was too much like Kelly Bundy, the type of persona she was trying to get away from. Christina acknowledges that she lost out on the Witherspoon money, but she thinks it was for the best that she declined the part. She is certain that if someone other than Reese had been chosen to play Elle Woods, the movie would not have been as successful as it was. The Notebook. Did you know that Jessica Simpson was first considered for the part of Allie in The Notebook before Rachel McAdams was cast? She confessed that the presence of a sex scene caused her to decline the part. Jessica tried to ask the studio to remove the sequence, but they refused. She didn't learn Ryan Gosling had been chosen for the male role until much later. Jessica even admitted that Ryan was her childhood crush ever since their audition for the Mickey Mouse Club. Clueless. Sarah Michelle Gellar starred in iconic 1990s films including Scream 2, Cruel Intentions, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. But did you know that she came close to playing one of the most well-known comedic roles of the time? The part of Amber Marins, played by Elisa Donovan in the movie. This was originally offered to her, but due to her busy schedule with All My Children, she missed out on playing a major role in Clueless. Titanic. Titanic is one of the most successful films of all time, making Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio into household names. But before Kate boarded the misfortunate vessel, Gwyneth Paltrow was also given serious consideration for the part. Gwyneth declined Titanic in favor of the film Great Expectations, which was adapted from the same titled book by Charles Dickens. She just finds it hilarious when others inquire about her regrets. Initially, she believed Great Expectations to have what Titanic lacked. She made the audacious argument that Titanic only has a ship, while the movie she chose to work on has an outstanding story and characters. Grease. Despite the fact that Henry Winkler is a television legend due to Happy Days and an Emmy Award winner thanks to Barry, he still has regrets about his wildly successful acting career. Henry continues to harbor regret about one unfulfilled role, Danny Zuko in Grease. Henry hesitated because he was concerned about getting cast in a certain role because of the character's resemblance to the Fonz. Henry had no idea the Fonz was so recognizable that he would be typecast whether or not he agreed to appear in Grease at the time. Monsters Ball. According to Angela Bassett, she declined Halle Berry's Oscar-winning part in Monsters Ball since she wasn't interested in portraying a prostitute in the movie. She said she would love to win an Oscar, but only for something that could let her sleep at night. And since she cherishes her character, she declined the lead in Monsters Ball, even though it had been 4 years since her last acting role. Despite claiming that Halle Berry was not the target of the criticism, she claimed that the part was unacceptable since it perpetuated a stereotype about Black women's sexuality. Forrest Gump. John Travolta declined Forrest Gump in favor of another project. He chose to play Vincent Vega in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, which fortunately gave his career new life. In fact, John's performance in this role helped him earn an Oscar nod for Forrest Gump against Tom Hanks. It also helped John land a number of other significant and controversial film roles, such as those in Face Off, Get Shorty, and Phenomenon. With this, he doesn't regret declining the part of Forrest Gump. Barbie. The most eagerly awaited film of the summer of 2023 is undoubtedly Barbie. Did you know that Gal Gadot was the first candidate for the role of Barbie? According to Margot Robbie, who ultimately decided to play the character herself, she finds Gal to have the perfect Barbie energy. She describes her as impossibly beautiful and enthusiastically kind. These characteristics made Gal the perfect choice for the role, but she was unfortunately unavailable. Even years ago, Amy Schumer was cast as Barbie in a separate Barbie production, but she left the project because she and the company couldn't agree on Barbie's character. Amy decided to abandon the film entirely rather than letting Sony Pictures force her into a character that she was quickly growing to dislike. Despite these celebrities declining these major roles that could have earned them way more money, these celebrities maintained their status as legendary stars. From Sandra Bullock still being the highest paid actress to John Travolta reviving his career, they successfully made their way to the top of the Hollywood industry.